So, as we head into the new year, one of the things that I like to do, and one of the things that I like to have my clients do, is not so much set goals for the new year, but to take stock of, where you are right now, what is serving you, what isn't serving you, and where do you want to be? How do you want your life to be? What do you want to change in your life? Who do you want to become, really, is I think the essence of it. So different from goal setting, because it's not just I have to achieve this, I have to achieve that. It's more about looking at, what do I want in my life, and what do I need to do in order to really be joyful, be happy. Or I think getting to the root of it is, maybe, how do I really build a life that I love? Welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Jessica. I am a naturopathic doctor and acupuncturist, as well as a health coach. And here online, I help clients kind of better manage their stress and really take stock of their overall health and wellness so that they can continue to live the life of their dreams. So in this approach of kind of, I guess, let's call it building your dream life, first thing you got to do is kind of take stock of where you are. So there are many ways to kind of take stock of where you are. And one thing I recommend is to write things out and to usually split it out into categories. So for example, health and wellness is obviously a category, right? Where are you in your health? Like, how are you doing? If you haven't had labs recently, like, we should probably order some of those labs. But, how are you feeling overall? Are you sleeping? Do you feel fatigued most days? Do you feel like you can't remember things? Do you feel like you can't concentrate anymore? Just kind of going through all these general categories and kind of taking stock at where you are. So whether that's drawing a smiley face or a face with a line, or giving yourself a score out of 10, whatever makes sense for you, so that you can have a little bit more of a objective place to grow from. Again, breaking it down to categories: health and wellness. So usually finances, career, personal growth. Like, are you doing things that are feeding you, as far as, is it a hobby? Do you want to learn a language? Do you want to get your pilot's license? That's mine. But those sorts of categories are actually really good places to start with, to really take stock and to think about, where are you right now? And, if you know where you are, you can figure out the next steps and where to go and how to get there. So number one, taking stock: sit down, get quiet, actually take it seriously, and take the time out of your day to really check in with yourself and do some self-assessment in all these different categories of your life. Once you have an idea or some sort of framework as far as, I'm satisfied or content or feeling good about these areas of my life, and, these other areas, maybe there's room for some growth. Then we need to think about, okay, if you want to call it your goals, that's fine. But then we need to think about, if you're not happy where you are, or if this is not looking like part of, what you want your dream life to be, what does it look like? What do you want out of those areas in life? Is it that, you want to work on your relationship, or you want to have a relationship with, your significant other? Do you want to change careers? Do you want to do something else long term? You need to know what the heck those goals are, so you can identify the gaps in where you are now. So once you do that, you're able to actually then work backwards and figure out how to get there. So case in point, I'll use myself an example. I used to work in finance. If you haven't seen my video about my stressful experience during residency, I talk about my background there. You can check that out. But I used to work in finance, and I was kind of miserable. Not kind of miserable, I was miserable. But then I decided I wanted to go into medicine. So, I knew it was going to be a long process. It wasn't going to happen overnight. So I then found the gap where I wanted to be, and then figured out a way to make it happen, and figured out, what do I need to do? What did my daily steps need to be? Who did I need to become in order to become that eventual doctor? And that is kind of where I was able to make daily changes to my habits in order to get there, right? Became a process of, okay, well, you got to go back to school to do prereqs for med school. Okay, well, how do we do that? What are the steps we need to take? Where is the gap? How do we get there? And it was also knowing it was going to take some time, and being realistic with my plans as well. You sat down, you've identified where you are, you've identified where you want to go and kind of what your goals are, and then started to fill in the steps to work backwards to actually get there. And often in making the changes, whether, it's a career change, whether it's like having a better diet. This is where you really have to start to look at your daily habits and think about, what do you need to change? Where can you tweak things? We only have so much time during the day, but there are often little changes that we can make that will get us closer to those changes and those dietary, lifestyle, whatever type of changes they are. So one thing I like to do is I don't know, I guess it's like circle. You draw a circle on a piece of paper, and you put the clock around it, and you divide out your day, right? So from 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. I'm sleeping, right? So that chunk of the day is gone. Then from 5 to whatever, then from 5 to 7 I'm meditating or whatever. So don't put what you want to do, put what you're actually doing. So be honest and look at your day. And then once you have your day written out, you're able to identify where you have gaps in the time, because I promise you, most people have a little bit more time than they think they do. So many people, so many clients I notice when we talk about their day, they're scrolling the internet, or they're scrolling on Instagram because they think it's actually stress relieving when it's actually really not. That time you could be meal prepping, or that time you could just be resting. And I mean just resting, like reading a book or meditating, or actually just sitting down and closing your eyes, or spending time with your family, and really being present. Identifying what you're currently doing with your time, and then being able to say, okay, instead of that, I'm going to do this, and committing to that. That's how you slowly start to move towards building the life that you actually want. That's where looking at your daily habits becomes really important, and where you can really identify how you can make some changes. And the last thing I like to think about when kind of creating, moving towards your dream life or building your dream life, are, what are the things that really feed you? What are the things you really enjoy doing? How do you want to grow? Because not that we have to have this mentality of hustle culture or something, but I often find in talking with clients, there's a lot of discontent when you stop growing. When you become stagnant, whether it's in your personal life or your career or finance, whatever the area may be, when you become stagnant in your personal development, you tend to get discontent, and you tend to be more frustrated, or feel more anxiety, or feel more depressed, or feel more fatigued. So knowing what the things are that feed you is really important. For me, it's always learning some new skill. So whether it's working on learning a language, like I mentioned earlier, my goal for the next few years is actually working towards my pilot license. So learning a new skill for me, it's always something that really just feeds my soul and makes me feel like not that I'm accomplishing, but it just learning makes me feel like I'm growing. So identifying whatever that is for you is really crucial, really important, and I highly recommend giving that a try. And don't tell me you don't have enough time. You have time. So I promise you, if you go through these steps, it will be really helpful. If you have any questions about any of this, leave them in the comments below. You can also check out the link to my online program, The Better Health Blueprint, where we work on optimizing your health. We talk about these different areas of growth and figuring out how to live your best life in many different ways, in many different areas of your health and wellness, so mind and body. So if you have questions about that, you can click the link below. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really does help other people find the information on this channel. And be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when I post a video next week. All right, I will see you in the next video.